Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Kirby Superstar Ultra. Last time, we went through both Spring Breeze and Gourmet Race, and this episode, we're going to be starting up our next mode of the game, Dyna Blade. Dyna Blade has disrupted the crops. There must be a reason, but first, this has to be stopped. Just a nice peaceful day here in Dreamland. Kirby taking a nice nap. Those flowers are very happy until Dyna Blade just kind of cut their heads off. Also, that tree has seen better days. Just clear cut in two. Dyna Blade being upset. And it's up to Kirby to save the day and calm down that giant bird. Too bad he couldn't eat the apple before he left though. So, beginning here, as you can see, we have an overworld map here with about 5 stages, so this won't be too long of a mode. We could probably actually knock this out in one part. So let's fall down here and enter a door. And first things first, I'm going to actually ignore some of these enemies because I'm going to try to go for a mix. So unfortunately I couldn't get that guy to help me, but maybe I can get this cutter. Okay, never mind. Let's go back to respawn this guy. There you go. Thank you, Waddle Doo. Yes! Perfect! This is the one thing I wanted the most. This is Jet. Jet is one of the best things to get from a mix because this is a very fast power. I really like Jet. Using this, you can actually do a lot of different things. You can charge up your little jet boosters here in the back to do more damage, and at the same time, it really helps for you going fast as well. This is a great power for using if you want to fly around real quick. More or less for a vertical thing. It's not the greatest for horizontal flight, but if you keep on spamming the attack over and over again, it can be. It's just overall really good movement-based ability. Speedrunners love using Jet. It's their favorite ability, from what I've noticed. This and Plasma. And you'll see why Plasma is also really good once you find that. So, let's go up here and enter the door here, just kind of sitting out in the middle of nowhere. And as you can see here, we have a Metamato and we have ourselves a sword power, but I'm going to just stick with Jet, honestly. I just like this ability too much. I don't want to lose it immediately. So, yeah, we're going to keep this. Man, I'm so happy I got this as a mix. It's like one of the hardest things to get from a mix for me, I swear. Mixing in this game is time-based. In some other Kirby games, you can actually let the mixing go by itself and you'll get a predetermined power. Here, if you let the mixing go by itself, you're not going to predetermined power. Instead, you're just going to get hurt. So, yeah, don't let mix go on for too long here in Kirby because it could hurt you. In this game in particular, it will. So, I'm actually going up here because I want to just immediately go right to the boss and kill it. Because that invincibility candy can hurt bosses tremendously, mind you. We can go ahead and kill that guy that gets power, which is Cooking Kirby. So basically with this, you just press the B button, you absorb all the enemies around you, and by doing so, you actually convert them into food. So now we convert every single one of those enemies into some healing items for us, which is very convenient. Now, thank you, Capsule Jr. I really appreciate your help just being here. You did such a good job at absolutely nothing. Alright, so let's see. Can we get this? I think that's a 2, because that bar wasn't fully well filled. For how I'm recording this game, I'm actually using an actual DS. So when we get to these screens, I'm looking down at the DS screen itself because I have about a few frames of lag of input. And trust me, every single frame matters when it comes to those games. Because if you don't press the button at the right time, you're done. You're just gonna fail that minigame. I usually get just close to 1, 7, which is the worst result, mind you, or on 1. It's hard for me to get anything else. So me getting something that's slightly lower than 2, that was actually kind of surprising. Also, yeah, that was a little mini boss gauntlet there. Really, if you don't have any power, those enemies are super easy to kill because you can just absorb them. You can't hurt them, mind you, when you do that, but as long as you suck them up, you can do actually a one-hit KO to those guys. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it is something that is definitely much quicker to do if you know how to do it. Also, can I hit this with Jet? I don't think so, so I'm going to have to ditch it and get me a cutter real quick because I want to go ahead and just cut down here to reveal this pathway. And let's ditch that power. I didn't have a chance to actually mention this in the first episode, but one of the biggest changes that Kirby Superstar Ultra brings to the table is if you hit the select button, you will actually ditch your power. In Kirby Superstar, the only way to get rid of your power was to give it to a helper, basically. So either you made a helper, or you threw away the power, which could in turn cause your helper to grab it and transform into a different ability. But in Kirby Superstar Ultra, they added the ability to just throw the item away, and that's like the best thing that this version adds. It's seriously so helpful just to press the select button and just say, yeah, I don't want that power anymore. Let me just chuck it. It's so good. I'm so glad they did that. But here we go. This is our main gimmick of Dyna Blade for 100%. There are 2 hidden switches in this mode, and you hit one of those switches, you get an extra little stage unlocked. And you'll see what that is once we're done with the stage, because we'll go there immediately afterwards. But that's pretty much all you need to do for 100%. You need to find those hidden switches, and, well, you need to hit them. Simple as that. And that's pretty much it. That's the only collectible we really need to worry about in Dyna Blade. But this is our first instance of having to worry about collectibles, so it's a good thing to mention because Kirby Superstar does have a lot of different modes, but not all of them you can 100%. Because some of the modes are just as simple as you play through every single level and then that's it. Or you can go out of your way to find the different collectibles in said mode that actually 100%, like the switches in this one. So each mode is a little bit different with how it goes to its completion, and this one in particular, it's a very simple one, but in some later modes, you'll see getting 100% is a little more time consuming. Just kick the shroom, why not? I just like that. Sometimes when you do a normal little B-button press and Kirby just a kick, that could still kill an enemy. I like that. It's a nice little touch. Now, unfortunately here, we have to ditch Jet because I want my helper to become Wheelie. Wheelie here is a very nice helper, specifically just because of the fact that you can control it. It's the only helper in the game as player 1 you can actually control. And how that works is you jump inside of Wheelie and then you're just controlling him. Simple as that. It's a very cool power just for that reason. And Wheel itself is really not the best power in this game. It's great for transportation's sake, but that's about it. For attacking, it's mixed because it depends on the enemy you're fighting. Some are easy enough, we can just run into them, while others, kind of a pain to deal with. Luckily, Bonkers there wasn't that bad, honestly. I normally have a much harder time fighting Bonkers with Wheelie, but that was one of those times where he gave me a pretty good pattern. And he gave me enough leeway so I could just go ahead and wear him with the Wheelie ability. And that was great. I like that fight. But if you have the hammer at the end of the stage, you get 3 1-ups, so that's very helpful. So let's see, can we get the 1? I think that's another 2. It's very, very easy to miss the 1 mark, but I'm surprised I'm getting all these 2s. Oh, I did get 2 in the last stage. I must have just barely been on the 2 line. It looked like I had a 3 for a second, which did make me confused because I could have swore 3 only gave you points. But hey, look at that. We got an enemy on the field, and this guy's super simple. Iron Man here, already dead. Yeah, easy. He drops a 1-up though if you kill him. He's just an optional little fight you can do in the overworld. Doesn't really do anything. It's there if you want to have an extra fighter ability. But that's basically it. But now if we go up here, we have a trial room. This is one of the 2 trial rooms here in this mode. And basically trial room here just gives you a bunch of different powers. That's pretty much all this is. It's just a power room. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show off Hammer's special abilities here because you can go ahead and do swings. If you hold up on the D-pad and then press B, you do a fire attack. But if you run and press the A button, no, sorry, I'm thinking of the Super Nintendo version. If you run and press the X button, you throw your hammer. That hammer throw to a normal boss can do about half damage. It's the most powerful attack in the entire game. It's ridiculous. But in this room, as you can see, we got a bunch of different powers. This is just half of the powers that you can get in this mode. So we don't have all of them here. But if you fall down below, you have 2 Metatomatoes and you have a bunch of enemies to fight. So if you want to test out your abilities, then that's pretty much where you do it. But that's pretty much all that is. It's just a nice little area to grab some extra powers and just to experiment. But now let's go to Coco Cave and jump immediately back in Wheelie, which one nice detail I like is in Kirby Superstar, your look didn't really change when you're on Wheelie besides the helmet. But in Kirby Superstar Ultra, if you have a power that makes Kirby look different in color, then it does reflect on the Wheelie combo here, which I do like a lot. Actually seeing a green Kirby pilot the Wheelie is really cool to me. And that's something you didn't see in the original. This game, in terms of graphics, it looks a lot nicer than the original. Can I please just hit this? Thank you. But yeah, graphically, this does look a little bit better than the original because of the models and such, but just in terms of just some of the extra stuff they did with it, that's where graphically I think this game does look a lot nicer than the original Kirby Superstar. And I have a big soft spot for the original because that was my first ever video game. I played so much of Kirby Superstar. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But I do really enjoy the remake, and I do like what it brought to the table. I find myself going back to the original on Super Nintendo more than Ultra, simply just because I played that one more. So I just have more of a fondness for the original Super Nintendo version. Which, to be fair, doesn't make this version bad or anything. I'm just so much more used to that version on Super Nintendo that I just end up wanting to play that one more than the DS remake. If I had to recommend a version of Kirby Superstar for someone to play, I would honestly recommend this one, just simply because since it's the newest version, it has more content to it. It's a little bit easier to find nowadays if you want a physical copy of the game. And just overall, it's a really good package deal for Kirby Superstar. I just barely missed the 1-up. That sucks. But yeah, nowadays it's very easy to get Kirby Superstar, the original on Super Nintendo if you wanted, because the game itself is on Virtual Console, and now it's easy enough to get on the Wii, Wii U, and 3DS. Although now you can't really get the Wii Virtual Console version of this game anymore, since you can't buy games off the Wii Shop channel. Which, that's sad that died that the Miiverse died before the Wii Shop channel. Something that was on a newer platform, mind you. That's so weird to me. In a sense, it kind of showed how bad Miiverse flopped, unfortunately. Because Miiverse was a really nice social platform. The biggest problem it had, though, was moderation. It was pretty terrible. So, after a while, people were kind of tired of getting blocked off because they maybe set their first name on the platform. It was a little too strict there. But I think the biggest issue that really killed Miiverse is the fact that people stopped using it after a while, simply just because it was Nintendo's version of the Facebook and Twitter approach to their game consoles. But the problem it had was that no one was really using it, just simply because it was a little more of a pain to use after a while, unfortunately, because you had to constantly go into Miiverse from your games itself, which took a couple minutes to load sometimes. So it just wasn't very worth it. Oh, I think I got another 2. Can I get the 1, please? Maybe just a 1. I mean, I would like it. We have one more chance at it, and if we get 4 2s in a row, I'll be mad. Yeah, no, the biggest thing about Miiverse, going back to that topic real quick, is just the fact that it was a little clumsy to use after a while. People didn't want to open that up from their games. It was a little time consuming. So they'd just rather post things on social media that they already used a lot, like Facebook and Twitter, because it was just easier for them to get to. So half the time they'll just take a picture with their cell phone and then share it on Facebook or Twitter, taking about maybe 10 to 15 seconds. Creating a Miiverse, which took you a couple minutes, just because it took you a while to type things out. And the fact that the platform took a little bit to load didn't help either. So after a while, people just stopped caring, unfortunately. But the Wii Shop channel, though, that died way too early, honestly. Because I honestly was hoping that would have gone on longer than Miiverse did. Because Miiverse lasted up to the end of 2017. Wii Shop channel technically lasted to the end of the beginning of 2019. Like near middle of 2018 is what I'm trying to go for. So that's pretty bad, if you want to be honest. It's really sad because there was a lot of great games that were exclusively on the Wii that you can't get anymore from the Wii Shop channel. Some Virtual Console releases, some WiiWare games that didn't come to any other platforms. So that's really, really sad. And makes me really sad to see that that technically had a longer life on a platform that's technically 2 generations old now. So that's a weird thing to happen. Normally, that doesn't happen in the game industry. Some of those services are shut down before the services really get the shine on their next system. And Nintendo decided the other way around. Yeah, like, nah, it had some time to shine, but not enough. Let's get out of here. Speaking of getting out of here, we lit the fuse of this cannon. Luckily, because our hammer has fire on it, we didn't have to ditch it. So we get to use our hammer for fire. And that's that. So, jump back into here and grab some extra health. When you're in wheelie, you can actually distribute the health between both you and your helper at the same time. Normally you have to stop and get health and just share it with your friend, but when you're in wheelie combo mode, you don't have to worry about sharing as much because it's just done automatically, and I do like that touch. Now also when you're here, avoid all the bombs if you can, because if you hit one of those bomb blocks, well, you're going to have a lot of pain on your hands here, because that's going to expose, as you can see by that crash ability, molten lava. So don't do it if you can avoid it. Here, I'm actually going to do it on purpose, because over here, you actually need to break that one bomb block to open up the water there, which has a 1-up. So that's the only one you actually want to destroy if you want to actually get a collectible. That's pretty much it. Now here, I could grab me some mic, but I honestly rather save my hammer and wheelie. That'll just probably be better for this. So let's just go ahead and first off grab some help for wheelie and make our way to the boss fights here. This is a rush mode because now we have a bunch of mini bosses to fight here. So mini boss rush, not going to be too big of a deal, especially with this guy ignoring us half the time. And there you go, he's already dead. That didn't take long. Alright, so let's jump out of wheelie, because now we're coming to fight number 2. Bonkers. But, because I already have a hammer, this is not going to take long at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our way to our final fight. And this one, I'm actually going to use the hammer throw. Because, as you can see, instantly killed one of the Poppy Bros seniors. So, yeah. That shows just how powerful that hammer throw is. And that's why I love that ability so much. It's so good. But that was it. That was our final stage. So can we get the 1? That's another 2. Are you serious? Alright, so if you get 2, as you notice, I get 1 up. If you get a 1, you get 3 1-ups. That's why I wanted it so bad. And of course, I'm off every single time, which sucks. I always get the 1 or the 7. This is the first time I got 4 2s in a row. That's weird. So before we go to Dyna Blade's nest, let's go up here real quick, the trial room 2, just to go ahead and show it off. See, we got a bunch of different powers here. These are all pretty nice, but these aren't powers I want. In fact, I should just get 1 at least for my wheelie friend, because he's probably not going to do that great using that. So actually, let's go ahead and give him what I have now. Probably best with Bomb. So if you go over to the right, there is another door that leads out there, along with some enemies you can fight and a Menomato, so you can go ahead and test out your abilities. I'm going back to trial room 1 real quick, because I want me some plasma. So can you get over here so I can use your head real quick? Thank you. It's just a little bit quicker to jump on your head. You can jump on your helpers' heads there, which is a nice little bouncy platform, but honestly, it's not really used for anything. So it's just a nice thing to do if you just want to get a move on. But now it's time to go to Dyna Blade's nest and finish up this mode of the game. We must confront Dyna Blade and teach her a lesson for destroying all that stuff. So we got some powers here. And it's a good variety, but that's why I went back to the first trial room to grab me some plasma, because that's the ability I want. Now, the 4 here, fire might be the best for me to use, but I'd rather use plasma. So using this fight here, I'm actually going to go ahead and talk about this ability. Plasma basically is an ability where if you rock around the D-pad, you'll actually charge up your power. So this ability is best used for boss fights for this reason, because you can kind of just spam on the D-pad to charge up your plasma ability and release powerful attacks. Your most powerful attack is a circular beam, which does a lot of damage, as you've seen there. So that's why I really like using plasma in particular for boss fights. It's a great long-range weapon, but at the same time, it packs a punch. It was more effective in the Super Nintendo version because you can actually spam plasma a lot more. You can charge it up very quick in the Super Nintendo version, which in turn, you can just fire off a fully charged shot in like a second or 2, if you know what you're doing. But in the DS version, it has a little bit more of a wind-up to it, so you can't charge up your plasma ability quite as fast here as you could on the Super Nintendo. They did that just because of how easy it was to spam the original. They had to nerf it somehow. But that's it. Dyna Blade was really just upset and destroying a whole bunch of stuff in Dreamland because she wanted to get some food for her kids. She was just trying to take care of them. So with Kirby's help, not only did we help teach the little birds how to fly, but now Dyna Blade's all happy, so that's a nice happy ending. But that's it. That's the Dyna Blade mode complete. So with that done, next time on Let's Play Kirby Superstar Ultra, or start our next mode in the game, the Great Cave Offensive. I'll see you guys next time.